Marvel Cinematic Universe has always been about escalation. First it was heroes, then gods, then cosmic beings. But now, the entire narrative is collapsing under the weight of time itself. Universes folding, realities bleeding, timelines snapping. And at the center of that chaos isn't Doctor Doom. It's Kang the Conqueror. Not a placeholder villain, not a substitute. The true architect of everything that's gone wrong since Loki Season 1. Because Kang isn't a man chasing power. He's a man rewriting existence. And that's exactly why, no matter what rumors swirl, no matter what faces appear next, the Multiverse Saga still belongs to him. When He Who Remains sat across from Loki and Sylvie, he didn't make threats, he made a confession. The TVA wasn't about justice, it was about containment. Reality itself had become too dangerous to exist freely, so he built a system to cage it. Every timeline is trimmed, every branch pruned, every deviation cut off before it could create another him. That finale wasn't just the end of a season. It was the detonation point for the next decade of Marvel storytelling. When Sylvie killed him, the multiverse didn't just open, it fractured. The last wall between order and absolute chaos fell. And from that exact moment, Kang became the ghost haunting every project that followed. No Way Home and its Spider-Verse crisis, that's Kang's warning echoing. Multiverse of Madness and the Incursions? Kang's prophecy realized. The TVA's broken bureaucracy in Loki Season 2? Kang's absence, turning his own machinery against itself. He's the invisible gravity pulling every storyline into orbit. Doom hasn't even entered the equation yet. Then Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, pushed the idea further. This wasn't the introduction of a single conqueror. It was a revelation of an entire dynasty. Thousands of variants, all ruling different realities, working or warring with each other. The defeated Kang in the quantum realm wasn't an ending. It was the smallest ripple in a tidal wave. Because his warning still rings. If you think I'm bad, wait till you meet my variants. The Council of Kangs shown in that mid-credits scene wasn't fan service. It was the MCU showing its hand. The war has already begun. The dynasty already exists. And that's what makes Kang unlike any villain before him. Thanos was finite. Kill him, the war ends. Ultron was mechanical. Delete him, peace returns. Even Doom, for all his brilliance, fights for control. A seat, a throne, a crown. But Kang fights for definition. He doesn't conquer planets, he conquers possibility. His war isn't for domination. It's for the right to decide what counts as real. The difference is philosophical. Doom represents will, the human ambition to rule through intellect and arrogance. Kang represents inevitability, the collapse of choice itself. Doom wants the world to kneel. Kang wants a world that can't stand differently. That's the real terror. He doesn't just win, he ensures no one else ever could. Even when Kang loses, he wins. The version trapped in the quantum realm may have fallen, but the moment his defeat rippled outward, 1,000 more stepped into place. Each one slightly smarter, slightly faster, slightly crueler. Killing one Kang is like killing a thought. It only multiplies when challenged. He exists in recursion, in endless correction. That's why calling him defeated after one movie misses the point. His death was a line of code self-replicating into new versions. Every story since Loki is a symptom of his absence. The multiverse isn't expanding naturally, it's imploding. Incursions, rifts, paradoxes. All the rules that once held together are now unraveling because the man who wrote them is gone. The TVA doesn't understand the tech it uses. Time doors malfunction. Agents get erased. It's not the rise of a new villain that drives this chaos. It's the vacuum left by Kang's removal. And that vacuum has swallowed the entire MCU. Now enter the conversation about Doctor Doom. Fans love him. Rightly so. He's one of the most iconic villains ever written. A tragic genius who mixes science, magic, and monarchy. His presence in Fantastic Four or Secret Wars would shake the MCU to its core. But here's the truth. Doom's threat is local. His reach, for all its brilliance, operates within the physical universe. Kang operates outside it. Doom bends the laws of physics. Kang writes them. Doom is a storm. Kang is the climate. That's why introducing Doom doesn't erase Kang. It amplifies him. Doom could enter the Multiverse Saga as the man who finally learns to manipulate Kang's broken timelines, thinking he's the one in control. But that arrogance would play right into Kang's design. Because every decision Doom makes, every world he conquers, might already be written into one of Kang's infinite outcomes. Doom's victory could be Kang's test. Their coexistence is what will elevate the next phases of the MCU from spectacle to mythology. Doom represents man's lust for power. Kang represents time's revenge on man. Doom builds empires. Kang builds eternity. Doom's downfall has always been pride. Kang's flaw is belief in perfection. They are two reflections of ambition, one personal, one cosmic. And when they finally clash, it won't be about who wins a fight. It'll be about who gets to define the concept of victory itself. Marvel has already hinted at this structure. Avengers. The Kang Dynasty isn't a random title. You don't name an entire phase after a villain you plan to retire early. Even if future films change names, the foundation is set. The dynasty concept implies endurance, a reign, a system, a lineage that survives even defeat. And Kang, more than any villain before him, was built to survive. Critics claim Kang's momentum fizzled after Quantumania. The film underperformed, the character's actor fell into controversy, and Marvel seemed to wobble. But the story doesn't die because of an actor. Kang, by nature, isn't tied to a single face. The whole point of his existence is multiplicity. He's hundreds of people, each slightly different. Recasting isn't a problem for Kang. It's an advantage. Every new face becomes another timeline, another branch, another evolution. You can't cancel an idea like that. You can only delay it. That's what makes Kang such a perfect meta-villain. Even Marvel's production chaos mirrors the narrative chaos of his universe. Delays, rewrites, tonal shifts. They all feel like fragments of the same broken timeline. It's as if Kang's meddling extends beyond fiction, infecting the real-world storytelling rhythm. The MCU itself behaves like a Kang experiment running loose, constantly trying to stabilize while new branches appear. That's not irony, that's poetry. Now think of the heroes. Every one of them has already brushed against Kang's influence without realizing it. Doctor Strange bending time and causing incursions. Loki reliving loops and facing his own variants. Wanda rewriting reality. Spider-Man's multiversal mess. Each one an echo of Kang's warning. You think you're making choices, but you're not. He predicted this chaos. He planned it. The only thing left is to step back in when the universe reaches critical mass and remind everyone who's really in charge. And that's exactly what makes Kang more terrifying than Thanos. Thanos wanted balance. Kang wants correction. Thanos used brute force to end life. Kang uses logic to end free will. There's something deeply unnerving about a villain who doesn't hate the heroes. He simply views them as anomalies. To him, the Avengers aren't enemies. They're errors. The TVA, that sterile bureaucracy with its paperwork and time sticks, is the most chilling idea Marvel has ever produced. An office where people unknowingly serve a god who edits destiny. It's absurd and horrifying. That institution is Kang's greatest weapon, not because it kills, but because it convinces everyone they were never free. Every hero's rebellion, every timeline's divergence, every human act of defiance becomes meaningless if Kang decides it shouldn't have existed in the first place. That's what the Multiverse Saga is really about. Not power, not magic, not war. It's about agency. Who controls the story? The writer? The reader? The character? Kang's entire philosophy collapses those distinctions. He's the writer inside the story, editing it while pretending to be part of it. That's the true genius of He Who Remains. He isn't outside the narrative. He's within it, aware of it, rewriting it as it unfolds. Dr. Doom, brilliant as he is, could never match that kind of existential threat. His menace is grandeur. Kang's menace is invisibility. When Doom attacks, you see it coming. When Kang wins, you realize it happened ages ago. Even the visual metaphors Marvel uses reinforce this difference. Doom sits on a throne of metal and fire. Kang sits in a room surrounded by timelines stretching infinitely. Doom's empire is built on land. Kang's empire is built on loops. Doom needs armies. Kang needs memory. Doom declares his power. Kang whispers it and watches as the world unknowingly obeys. What's chilling is that Kang doesn't even view himself as evil. In his mind, he's the cure. Every timeline without his control ends in collapse. Every variant that defies him becomes the seed of a war that ends in extinction. He doesn't conquer because he loves domination. He conquers because he believes no one else can stop the chaos. He's not Thanos snapping out of rage. He's a doctor performing surgery on reality. And if some universes have to die on the table, so be it. That belief system makes him impossible to reason with. You can't debate a man who sees your argument as proof of his theory. Every rebellion reinforces his worldview. Every failure strengthens his resolve. That's why defeating Kang won't mean killing him. It'll mean breaking the idea he stands for. But how do you kill an idea when it's already written across every universe? This is where Doom's entrance might actually become essential. Doom can't replace Kang, but he can challenge him. He's the first mind sharp enough to recognize Kang's design, and arrogant enough to think he can outwit it. Their rivalry could shape the future of Marvel's storytelling. Doom tries to rewrite the rules through intellect and willpower. Kang enforces the rules through inevitability. Two control freaks battling over who gets to write reality's final draft. That's not just a fight. That's philosophy set to explosions. And when that inevitable war unfolds, it won't be about who's the stronger villain. It'll be about who the MCU itself listens to. The god of time or the god of ego. The conqueror or the monarch. The inevitability of fate versus the illusion of freedom. That's what this saga is building toward, even if it takes years to reveal. Because despite all the noise, all the speculation, the Multiverse Saga's DNA hasn't changed. The TVA still exists. The incursions are still happening. The timelines are still splitting. And every time a universe tears open, the same truth whispers through the cracks. Kang warned everyone this would happen. He didn't lie. He just waited. When the next Avengers film arrives, whether it's called Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars, or something else entirely, fans will realize something that's been hiding in plain sight. Kang was never gone. He was simply waiting for the timelines to collapse enough to prove his point. So yes, Doom will rise. He'll steal attention, headlines, maybe even a few worlds. But Kang will still be the architect behind the stage. Every event, every anomaly, every spark of chaos traces back to him. The Conqueror isn't dead, he's multiplied. And when the heroes finally think they've restored order, when the multiverse seems stable again, Kang will step out of the shadows, smiling, because this was always the ending he wrote. The dynasty never ended, it just looped. And the MCU is still trapped inside it. So before the next chapter begins, remember this. Doom might rule, but Kang reigns. Always has, always will.
You're welcome.
If that realization sent chills down your spine, it means the story's working exactly as designed. Like, share, and drop your theory, because the multiverse doesn't break itself. Someone has to pull the strings.